Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2021 virtual statewide March for Marrow, Texas 5K Run and Walk. I am Stephanie Ham, co-chair of March for Marrow, Texas. We hope that you and your families are all safe and sound as we come to you virtually today, kicking off our march across Texas. In September, the Aplastic Anemia and MDS and International Foundation decided that the forecast for COVID-19 was such that our patients, families, and their friends should not be exposed to large in-person events. Therefore, the foundation continues to hold all our marches for Marrow in 2021 as virtual events. Here in Texas, we made a conscious effort to contact doctors and hospitals throughout the state to improve awareness about bone marrow failure diseases, which are rare, and our efforts to raise funds for the patient and family services at AAMDSIF. Through this virtual opportunity, you can run or walk anytime between today and Saturday, April 3rd at 9 a.m. Whether in a park, around a track, on a treadmill, or you can sleep in and donate to our campaign. If you are running, consider using the Strava app to time your run. That way, your finishing time will go directly to Powered by Professionals. If you do not use Strava, send your time to Amy at AFERRONE@poweredbyprofessionals.com so we can record it and maybe send you a placement medal. Please don't forget to share your photos this week on social media using the hashtags #March4MarrowTX, #AAMDSIF, #IRunForAAMDS. We want your wonderful faces up front, every one of you. And I've got to remind you to purchase raffle tickets in our online raffle. We will pull the winning tickets at 10 a.m. next Saturday, April 3rd, and we'll be mailing prizes by Monday, April 5th. We have gifts this year like an autographed basketball from the 2019-2020 San Antonio Spurs, an autographed game shirt from soccer player Mia Hamm, gift cards and gift certificates, for example, $150 to spend at Taste of Texas restaurant in Houston, and jewelry from James Avery Artisan Jewelry and Kendra Scott, and lots more. We've got some great electronic gifts for kids. You can find that big red raffle tickets button on our March for Marrow, Texas site at marchformarrow.org. Our goal this year is to raise $30,000 for bone marrow failure disease. The Aplastic Anemia and MDS International Foundation provides education, support, and hope for patients living with aplastic anemia, MDS, myelodysplastic syndrome, PNH, paroxysmal nocturnal hemoglobinuria, and related bone marrow failure diseases. Because our virtual March for Marrow, Texas this year is statewide, we have a welcome from Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner, and then from State Representative Donna Howard, District 48, who has an update on legislation that might impact our healthcare here in Texas. We are grateful to have garnered their support. Representative from District 48 here in Austin, Representative Donna Howard. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Stephanie. I'm very pleased to be here, and I look forward to seeing the video from my good friend, Mayor Sylvester Turner, who served with me in the legislature before he was a mayor. Awesome person. So thrilled about that. So I want to welcome you from your Texas Capitol to the 12th annual and this time virtual kickoff for the 2021 March for Marrow, Texas 5K Run and Walk. I'm honored to be here with you and to share in this important cause. While this event would normally be in person, if not for the pandemic, the greatest silver lining of going virtual is that so many more people are able to learn about these rare diseases across the state of Texas and even beyond our great state. I was told that we already know of guests from Canada, Mexico, Central and South America. Marrow and blood diseases are rare and information can be hard to find. Even in Texas, there are many small towns and rural communities where doctors may have never seen a bone marrow failure disease patient. This is an excellent platform to increase awareness on both a regional and global level. Texas is lucky to have some of the finest medical research institutions in the country and even the world, some of which deal with rare bone and blood cancers and their possible causes, like MD Anderson, of course. One way to provide support to these institutions is through investments. And as a state legislator who is tasked with writing our state's budget, I can tell you that one of the best ways to make those dollars go further is by expanding Medicaid, which will bring significant federal dollars back to Texas, helping us leverage even more funding and needed research in healthcare. So I want to thank you for your advocacy to help us make this happen and make sure we expand Medicaid here in Texas. Our current state budget has allocated millions of dollars to cancer research, including support for our world-renowned Cancer Prevention Institute of Texas, or CPRIT. But there's always more we can do, and that's why it's so important that you are here today. One more thing I want to remind all of you about is to register with Be the Match, a program through which you can get swabbed to see if you're a candidate to help a patient with marrow and blood dysfunctions. It's one of the best ways to find matches for patients in need, and I know that you're going to get more information on that later. And as a legislator, I guess I would also just say, please advocate for the things you care about at the state legislature. Make sure you know your representatives and that they know you. And they know that you care about investing in healthcare, investing in research, expanding Medicaid. We have to hear from our constituents because that's who we represent. And we should be making our decisions based on the needs of our state and what our constituents are telling us they want us to make sure happens. So I encourage you, if you have not already reached out to your legislators, to please do so. It does make a difference. So thank you for inviting me to speak at this great event. Thank you for your participation. And I look forward to hearing all about the successes of this year's March for Marrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Donna. It just really, this is the representative that we know. Thank you very much. Keep in touch with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm going to run back to Mayor Turner and let him give us his welcome, if that's possible. And we all understand technology in a way. So Julie, do we have him available?
Actually, if you could move along, we'll get the mayor clip up in about a minute and a half.
That's
you want to
great.
Move to okay.
Yeah, I have a little bit of introduction and thank you so much. It's so good to work with you. As you all know, events like this don't succeed on their own. It takes the support of communities as well as our sponsorship partners. I'm grateful, really grateful to be working alongside my husband, Bill Ham, as co-chairs of March for Marrow, Texas for the past 12 years. We are also thankful to committee members, Stephanie Battles, Ron Duncan, Mary Swift, Janet Valverde, Rosalind Jones-Waters, and to our social media team, Summer Ashley, Joanna Bistrain, Mirel Nikamsi, and Tasha Braggs-Wilson. And we thank you for participating and forming teams to raise funds to support our patient services and research for better treatments and someday a cure for bone marrow failure diseases. We want to give a big shout out to Klein Cain High School Key Club members and their families who formed a team and are walking and running with us this year. We would also like to take the time to thank our our March for Marrow national sponsors. Gold sponsor, Alexion. Bronze sponsors, Apellis, Aceleron, Novartis, and from Texas, Tito's Vodka. Also, a huge thank you to our sponsor of the Patient and Family Walk, the University of Texas MD Anderson Cancer Center, and to our local sponsors for the 2021 March for Marrow, Texas. Let's give all our sponsors a virtual applause. At this time, I get to present our Houston Mayor, Sylvester Turner. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Mayor Sylvester Turner. Welcome to the kickoff for the 2021 virtual statewide March for Marrow, Texas 5K Run and Walk. Thank you to all the volunteers, runners, walkers, sponsors, and residents here in Houston and throughout Texas who are participating in this annual fundraising event for the Patient and Family Services at the Aplastic Anemia and MDS International Foundation. March for Marrow events have been hosted by the City of Houston for the past 8 years, 5 at University of Houston and 3 in the Woodlands, with 2 of them being virtual. The greatest advantage of going virtual with this event is how many more individuals we can educate about these rare diseases across the state of Texas. The Texas Committee understands that there are many small towns and rural communities in our state where doctors may have never seen a bone marrow failure disease patient. I am proud that there are several hospitals in Houston that serve bone marrow failure patients and provide the option for a bone marrow transplant. MD Anderson Cancer Center, Methodist Hospital, Texas Children's Hospital, and Baylor Hospital and College of Medicine are all prestigious institutions treating bone marrow failure diseases. Did you know that registering with Be the Match and getting swabbed is one of the best ways to help patients with marrow and blood dysfunctions? I encourage all Houstonians to register with Be the Match to help patients who may be a neighbor, community member, or even a family member. I want to recognize the Klein Cain High School Key Club, which is running with us today. Congratulations for your service to this important cause. I also want to commend Aplastic Anemia and MDS International Foundation for leading the fight against bone marrow failure disease. Thank you again to everyone participating in today's event. Enjoy the walk.
Thank you, Mayor Turner, for your welcome and for your support. At this time, we are pleased to present AAMDSIF's CEO and Executive Director, Janice Frey Angel. This is her first March for Marrow series with us, and wouldn't you know, it all has to be virtual. Director Frey Angel.
Hello and welcome to the 2021 March for Marrow Virtual Walk and 5K Series. I'm Janice Frey-Angel. I'm the CEO of Aplastic Anemia and MDS International Foundation. As we all know, bone marrow failure disease can strike any person at any age, any gender, or any race, anywhere in the world. Patients are searching for answers, support, and hope from AAMDSIF. We're thrilled that you're joining us to celebrate these patients and raise funds and awareness for aplastic anemia, MDS, PNH, and related bone marrow diseases. We are a patient-focused, patient-centered organization serving patients and families throughout the 3 phases of bone marrow failure disease: the life-changing phase of diagnosis, the life-threatening phase of treatment, and the lifelong phase of living with a chronic disease. AAMDS provides the community that people need when they're feeling isolated, a support system for patients and their families. And thank you all for making this happen by walking and running and just supporting AAMDS and the whole community. We truly appreciate your support. Thank you. Hello and welcome to
Thank you, Janice. We appreciate your leadership in this challenging environment. Now we are thrilled to have Dr. Guillermo Garcia-Manero with us and to present him with our Nobility in Medicine Award. Dr. Garcia-Manero carries out his incredible research and patient care at the University of Texas MD Anderson Cancer Center, Department of Leukemia, Division of Cancer Medicine. For the past 15 years, Dr. Garcia-Manero has focused on improving the outcomes and quality of life of patients with leukemia, and in particular, myelodysplastic syndromes. His work centers around the understanding of the pathophysiology of these disorders to develop new therapeutic interventions. He currently leads the largest MDS program in the world and directs the MDS AML Moonshot program at MD Anderson. Aplastic anemia has benefited from his input as a member of the Medical Advisory Board for the past 14 years. Dr. Garcia-Manero is also accepting the Cancer Centers Award as major sponsor of March for Marrow, Texas for the past 8 years, and as sponsor of the Patient and Family Walk this year with a gift of $5,000. Many thanks, Doctor, to the University of Texas MD Anderson Cancer Center, and welcome to our screen.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Ms. Ham. I have to tell you that I'm glad I did not pre-record this because I'm getting a little bit emotional. This is really an incredible honor for me and for University of Texas MD Anderson Cancer Center. So I'm touched. You know, I really was not expecting and realizing what was happening. So let me start also by thanking our Mayor Turner and Representative Howard. I think this was incredible commitment from our leaders locally. And I also want to thank my own institution, MD Anderson, because they've always been extremely supportive of our program and this particular initiative. I've walked it several times at University of Houston campus, and it's always one of the fun things to do. I'm also extremely grateful to the AMDS, not only for the award, but for what they do, for what you do for our patients and our community. So I will always be grateful to that. For sure, I'm most grateful to our patients and families. This is a complex disease. It affects, as you can see, kids, but most frequently older individuals that need a lot of support, and the families are always there for our patients. And it's one of the most gratifying things that I see in my practice. So I'm really touched today. As you said, Ms. Ham, you know, we work here for almost 20 years now, just focused on the care of patients with MDS, aplastic anemia, and leukemia. And for many years, this journey was complex because we could not see that despite all our efforts trying to understand the molecular and biological basis of this disease, we could not see a translation into better therapies for our patients. I think this is now starting to change at many different fronts. So I'll briefly summarize them to you very quickly. We've made tremendous progress in transplanting our patients to the point that now it's a standard to transplant patients in the mid-70s. And we're very grateful for the Be the Match organization for what they do. Number two, we are starting to see tremendous improvement in our therapeutics. In 2020, we got, for the first time in 14 years, 2 new drugs approved for patients with MDS. One was luspatercept, a drug for anemia, and the other, a drug that I'm very proud of because it was developed almost entirely at the beginning at MD Anderson, an oral form of a hypomethylating agent like the cytarine. So you don't have to go now to the clinic for 3, 5, 7 days a month to get those shots. So, and we have another one that is coming also that could be a very effective form of oral chemotherapy. So those are two, but we expect that starting this year, we may actually start seeing the development and approval of what we call doublets. These are combinations of therapy that could be very effective for what we call high-risk myelodysplastic syndrome. So now, between what's happening with the transplant, what's happening with these more effective therapies, I think finally, after 14, 15 years of tremendous effort, we're going to see improvement in not only the quality of life, but our response rates and our survival. And of course, this would not have happened if it was not for this community, the families, the patients, AMDS, other foundations, and the institutions that are totally devoted to this. So I'm starting to see hope and significant progress. And again, I'm going to close by again thanking you for this award. I'm also thanking you on behalf of the MD Anderson Cancer Center of Texas for this really nice symbol of appreciation. And we're here for you. We only think about this couple of diseases, and this community is here to serve our patients and our families. And again, thank you very much for this great honor.
Thank you, Dr. Garcia-Manero, for your dedication to our patients, which is dedication also to our families and also dedication to human knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We now have an important message for you from Brian Allison, Community and Patient Relations Coordinator at Be the Match Gulf Coast Regional Blood Center. Be the Match is one of our most important partners, offering hope to patients by recruiting potentially unrelated matches for successful bone marrow transplants. Those of us on Facebook can vouch for the fact that Brian Allison is a 24-hour-a-day supporter of patients needing an unrelated marrow match. Tell us how we can support your work, Brian.
Well, first of all, good morning and thank you for having me. It's always good to see your smiling face. Be the Match, for those not familiar, we are also called NMDP, or the National Marrow Donor Program. When patients that are battling these blood illnesses, aplastic anemia, myelodysplastic syndrome, when they're told they need a stem cell or marrow transplant, often they don't have a matching donor in their family. They're relying on a stranger. That's where Be the Match comes in. We maintain the largest database of donors in the world. We have over 22 million registered donors. How you can get involved: if you fall between the ages of 18 and 44, you can register as a donor. That's something that you can do today from the comfort of your home. So if you have one of these handy, well, you can't see. If you have your phone handy, all you have to do is text March for Marrow. That's March, the number 4, Marrow, all one word, to 61474. That'll give you the link to get started to register as a donor. It doesn't take but about 5 minutes to fill out. We send you a mouth swab kit in the mail. All you do is rub the inside of your cheek, drop that back, and it's prepaid, doesn't cost a dime. That gets you into the database. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to get a call in the next week or two that you're a donor and we need you. Some people sit in the registry and never get called. The chances of you matching and donating is 1 in 430. So don't get discouraged. You're there to help if you can. So if they do, you would get that call. Now, the biggest thing we battle, obviously, is, people automatically think, oh my God, this is going to hurt. That's the biggest thing we battle. Over 80% of our donors actually donate a process similar to giving plasma. It's done through an IV in your arm. Quick, easy. You go in, watch Netflix, order some food delivered. We take care of all the costs, and you go home and take a nap afterwards. It's a really, really simple way to help out. And it's something anybody can do. Another way that people can get involved besides being a donor, we heard from one of our legislators this morning, there is a Texas House Bill 780. You can find more information about that online. There actually is a Facebook group to support that effort. And what that effort is, we've all been asked about becoming a an organ donor when we go get our driver's license. This is an effort to raise awareness for the Marrow program so that people will also be given the opportunity to register as a stem cell and marrow donor. So I definitely encourage you. You can write to your state legislators and encourage them to support House Bill 780. Just another great way to help out. You know, we're always looking for volunteers, so I got to add that plug in there. We have events all over the place, and you're welcome to reach out to me. As Stephanie said, I'm always on Facebook. I feel like I live in a virtual world sometimes. Brian Allison, you can find my picture or look up Be the Match Gulf Coast. That is our regional Facebook page, and that's where you'll see our local patients, and you can message us through there and see what's going on through that way too.
Thank you, Brian. Great work. We really appreciate it.
You know, we love what we do, so it's always
You can tell.
great to have a job that you enjoy, you get to help people, and you love what you do.
Thank you. It is our honor as a committee to present the Ambassador Family Award to Janet Valverde and Humberto Isasi and families. I will allow them to tell you the story about their dear daughter, Junebug. But we, as a committee, must tell you how much they inspire us when they arrive with their entire families from both sides, numbering into the 40s, to walk or run with us. Janet and Humberto, thank you for continuing to partner with us.
Hi, thanks for having us. I'm Janet, and this is my husband.
Humberto Isasi.
And this is a picture of our daughter June, better known as Junebug. This is our daughter Juliana and our son
Humberto.
June was born a healthy 8-pound baby, but at the age of 4, she had unexplainable bruising, which prompted us to call her doctor. We were told to take June to Texas Children's Hospital emergency room. We arrived, there was no waiting. They took us straight back, did blood work on her. Told us that June didn't have enough red cells, white cells, or platelets. June was admitted and received a blood transfusion and a platelet transfusion that evening. Next day, June had a bone marrow biopsy that had aplastic anemia, bone marrow failure. We had never heard of before. We had ATG treatment twice. It didn't work as we were hoping. She then had to have a bone marrow transplant. We were hoping that her brother or her sister were a match. They were not. They looked into the registry and no matches were found for June. Doctors moved forward with the haplo-identical transplant, half match, using my stem. First transplant, June underwent chemotherapy and radiation and was given my stem cells. Transplant failed. For the second transplant, because of her compromised immune system, contracted a fungal infection that attacked her lungs. Portions of her right lung and her left lung required oxygen. When that wasn't enough, she was put on a ventilator. Several days later, our daughter passed. So we urge you all, if you're not on the registry, please join Be the Match. You can possibly save a life.
On behalf of our daughter June, Team Junebug, our family and friends would like to thank March for Marrow, AAMDS, for giving us the Ambassador Family Award. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Gee, always such an incredible story. So we thank you. We thank you for your support. And best wishes to every single member of your families. And Juliana and Umberto, a special thank you. It is now, great. It is now our pleasure to introduce our international emissaries, patient Carmen Romo de Vivar and her sister and advocate, Monica Fairchild. Monica Fairchild was chair of our event in San Antonio for 3 years, and Carmen was right beside her, despite the fact she was working on her PhD at UT Austin. Monica and Carmen actually come to us this morning from Monterrey, Mexico, where they are visiting family. Carmen will be the spokesperson, and Monica is the person behind the camera. Carmen and Monica, the screen is yours.
Hello, everybody. I'm Carmen Romo de Vivar, and I'm joining you from the beautiful Coyoacán, Mexico. I wanted so much to be with you today because the AAMDS is such a dear community for me. In April 7th is going to be my 14th anniversary that I was diagnosed with very severe aplastic anemia. My story, it's complicated and long, but we don't have time to go to all the details. So I'm just going to share to you the highlights and tell you at the beginning, even if I'm spoiling the surprise, that ends with a wonderful ending. In my case, the most difficult part is to put a name to my disease. It took me a month before they could tell me what the name was. The worst diagnosis a person can have is that your doctor tells you, good news, you don't have cancer, but I do not know what you have, and I don't know anything that I can do for you. Fortunately, this doctor referred me to the professors and researchers at the University Health Science Center in San Antonio, Texas. And after appointments and delays and everything, I got to my appointment. I couldn't get out of the appointment immediately. I was putting in the hospital. 2 days after that, April the 7th, they told me the name of my disease. Now we knew what the enemy was, and the only thing that I remember vividly is asking the doctor, is it worse or better than leukemia? And he said, it's better because we are not dealing with the malign cells. But my whole family, my support system, immediately starting to find out what aplastic anemia was. My dear niece found the foundation, the link, gave me all the information, and immediately we all went in depth to find what it was, and it was heaven sent. We found our house, our family, and level of support that we needed so desperately, because for us, we were in a very dark place, and the foundation gave us all the information. We are so grateful to Lee, to Marta, people that is no longer at the foundation. They really took us by the hand and helped us take the better decision. At that time, 14 years ago, the state-of-the-art treatment was the ATG horse. That's the one that I got. It was developed in the National Institutes of Health by Dr. Neil Young, and I'm just a young net. I just admire him so much, and I'm pretty sure that all of you are familiar with him. I followed that treatment, and the way I decided for the treatment is because the foundation provided me with all the statistics of risk that I was taking, and they just hold us all the time. I encourage you to keep to keep us being a family, because the foundation is going to give you the background, the support system, with knowledge, with empathy, with love, to be to go up above and beyond what the dark place that you are. I just want to tell you that it's a terrible disease, but there is a light ahead. After 14 years, I'm a full person. I live a normal life. I had the opportunity to do things that I love, like teaching, um, traveling, something that I never thought that I could do again. And I'm just so happy to be free. Um, you really are in a wonderful place. I don't know what would have done with the foundation, particularly with Stephanie Ham, which is the motor in Texas and California, and personally with my immense support system that was my sister. 8 months in the hospital were a very heavy burden for both of us. I wish I could be there. I truly hope that in next 2022 walk, we can see each other, support each other, and comfort us. I am with you. I have my best sentiments. We are working towards being a global foundation. All the materials are already in Spanish. My brother, that rest in peace, volunteer to change everything, to translate everything to Spanish. Now, all the documentation that the foundation provides is in Spanish. So let's all of us work together as a team, because we cannot survive alone. We have to be all together. Hope to see you 2022 and wish you the best. Bye.
Thank you, Carmen and Monica. Your representation of the needs of Mexico, Central and South America are critical to our international mandate as a foundation. Now we get down to the 5K run and the MD Anderson Cancer Center Patient and Family Walk. We are pleased to have with us Jelena Scally, founder of Defined Body and Mind, The Woodlands, to provide a warm-up. Jelena, whose background is actually in investment banking, discovered Define after a series of injuries. It was the first method to help her regain strength, flexibility, and confidence. At Define the Woodlands, she manages a full range of fitness opportunities, including cycling, weights, cardio, ballet bar, and yoga. Warm us up, Jelena, as we move towards our shotgun start.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to your 2021 March for Marrow. I am your 2019 MCG. Was supposed to be your 2020, but obviously that didn't work out so well. But I'm really excited to be here with you today to get you guys warmed up for your march. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's do a little march, no pun intended. Start to draw those knees up. We're just going to reach your arms out nice and long. Pull your belly up and in towards your spine. Now round, reach forward here. Round it out. Good deep breaths in and out. And then reach it up to the sky. Pull down behind you, starting to really increase the range of motion through your shoulders. And then we're going to twist across the body here. Twist it. Finding those obliques, stretching and warming them up. Good. Go ahead and plant those feet. Draw your left knee up into your chest. Roll your shoulders back and start to circle that ankle around. Trying to get up nice and tall here. Then we're going to go ahead and change directions here, circling back out the other way. Hug your knee up into your chest, and then gently send that left leg back. Reach both arms up to the sky. Big high crescent lunge as you stretch back, opening your heart. And as you exhale, left hand comes down, right arm reaches as you twist up towards the sky. Big breath in. As you exhale, go ahead and take the other hand down. Pop that left foot up a little bit closer. You can do a couple bend and stretch. Feel that right hamstring start to release. And then simply step your left foot up next to your right. Roll your body up and stand up tall. Same thing, other side. Right knee is going to pull up into your chest. Big deep breath. And start to roll that ankle around in one direction. And then we're going to roll it back around the other way. Gently pull your knee up into your chest, big stretch. And then step that right foot back, arms up to the sky, big chest opener, inhale. As you exhale, right hand will come down, left arm reaches up, finding that big twist across the body. As you exhale here, left hand comes down, pop that right foot up a little bit closer to your left, bend and stretch. Coming out of that pyramid by keeping both knees bent and stepping your right foot up next to your left. Roll it up nice and controlled. And let's step it out nice and wide. Both hands back behind you. Press your palms together and then tip forward. Allow the chest, the shoulders to open, the hamstrings to stretch. And allow your elbows to come down. Hands come to opposite elbow. Give me a big rock from side to side. And then hands down, bend the knees and straighten the legs a couple times. And then on this last one, keep them softly bent, roll it up. Inhale, arms come all the way up. And exhale, draw your hands down, pull those feet in closer together. And I hope you guys have an amazing March and see you at the finish line. Hi, everybody. Welcome to your...
That's great. I'm sorry, you see me leaning forward. I just love that woman. Okay, once again, let me please thank all of our March for Marrow sponsors. Our gold sponsor, Alexion. Our bronze sponsors, Apellis, Aceleron, Novartis, and Tito's Vodka. Thank you to our statewide sponsors who have provided support and content for this event, as well as raffle gifts and incentives. Congratulations to today's honorees. Thank you to our special guests and to all the teams that are fundraising and running and walking this week. Thank you again to Klein Cain High School Key Club for joining us. AAMDSIF truly appreciates your youthful following. The foundation's strength comes from the multifaceted community it has developed over 37 years. Bill and I will never forget when we discovered the foundation in 1988, about 1 year after Garrett was diagnosed with aplastic anemia. AAMDSIF was always available, answering our calls, sending us answers via fax and email. This was before and mail. This was before email and access to the internet. And we were in the small town of Wichita Falls, Texas. That is why all of us as committee members value AAMDSIF's education of health professionals, as well as the foundation's funding of clinical researchers searching for better treatments and eventually a cure. A reminder, if you are starting your run today, be sure to set up your start on Strava and we will receive your run time automatically. If you do not use Strava, please turn in your run time to Amy Ferrone at AFERRONE@poweredbyprofessionals.com. That way, you may be eligible for some of our placement medals. There is still a week to raise funds for AAMDSIF. Finish your 5K run or 1 or 2 mile walk and buy raffle tickets online at our online raffle. I'll remind you, we'll be pulling tickets at 10 a.m. next Saturday, April 3rd, and we'll be mailing prizes that Monday, April 5th. Remember, please, to post photos on social media using the hashtags, hashtag March4MarrowTX, hashtag AAMDSIF, and hashtag IRunForAAMDS. Without further delay, we have some special friends of our son, Garrett Ham, to send all of you off on your run or walk. Don Grimes and Conrad Murskowski, who played sports with Garrett at Notre Dame High School in Wichita Falls, Garrett's son, Dylan Garrett Ham, and his sister, Caroline Cruikshank, and family.
Hi, I'm Conrad Murskowski, Garrett Ham's friend, classmate, and teammate from way back. I'm here to wish you all the best as you walk or run for March for Marrow this week. Your participation is greatly appreciated. Good luck to you all, and thank you.
Hi, I'm Don Grimes, friend of Garrett Ham. I hope you have a great run in the March for Marrow today.
Hi, we're the Cruikshanks, and we're marching across Texas from Austin. Hook 'em!
Hey guys, my name is Dylan Ham. I'm Garrett Ham's son. Just want to give you guys a quick thank you for coming out to walk and run with March for Marrow. I'll be joining you guys virtually and hope you guys have an awesome day. Thanks.
Thank you for sending our runners and walkers off at the shotgun start. See you back here next Saturday, April 3rd at 9 a.m. for our closing ceremonies. Are we ready? Yes. Thank you.